So I've had a ton of people reach out to me or ask me if I've used this style blade, which is the X style setup from Ballard. I've not used this setup. And one of the reasons I haven't is I haven't really had a reason to. And theoretically, you should be able to chop a lot more grass with these. But my thinking was, it's 6 blades. It's going to be double the sharpening. If you hit something one time, it's double the cost. Things of that nature. And I try not to hit anything with my blades. But a single set of blades, if you mess one up, it's fine. You can buy one blade or whatever. But, there's a lot of things that go into having 6 blades on a mower. And I've never really had a problem with my mower discharging and chopping up grass. But I've had so many people reach out, and I tried to search on YouTube just some random videos of people using these, and I just really didn't see a good video displaying the difference of a normal cut in tall, thick grass compared to using these double blade setup with the X mount. To me, it seemed like most of them were in short grass or in the middle of the summer, or they didn't even show them cutting that well. So we're going to show you guys today. I have normal high lift blades on my mower, and I'm going to put these on after. And I also want to show you guys the tool I use to remove my blades if you haven't seen that. And I see so many people buying these things to lift the front of their mower up and all these other things. I'm going to show you the easiest way to remove your lawnmower blades and to put blades on 100 times easier. Another thing, like I said, a lot of people, now it is getting drier here in Kentucky. You can see some of the grass is a little bit brown, but I have been watering this grass like crazy. And in the back, I haven't cut it in about a week and a half. So you can see how thick this grass is. It is very thick, but I'm going to make a single pass in the thickest area with my Hustler Hyperdrive. And then I'm gonna make probably 3 passes with it, just so we can see real good the discharge. And then I'm gonna come back with the X blade and go beside it and do the same thing. And so we're gonna be able to see, do these X blades really pay off, and are they that much better in the long run? And I normally cut this on 4 3/4. I'm gonna drop it down to about 4 1/4 so that we get a extremely deep cut, and we're taking on a whole lot of grass, because this grass is probably at the thickest at least 6 inches tall. It is I've still got grass seed growing in the yard. So it's very nutrient packed. It's an excellent yard, and it has the ability to, choke the blades out if you really want to. So we're going to try this today and see how it does.
All right, so I've already made a bunch of passes through here, and I'll kind of show you that too. But what I'm doing is I normally cut at 4 3/4, but I'm starting to chop it down lower for summer so that the grass doesn't pull so much nutrients to feed that long blade. Normally you would cut off, if you cut it 4 3/4, you would cut that consistently and then back down 1 notch. But what we're doing to really test these X blades is we're dropping it down to 4 1/4, all the way from 4 3/4, and this is about a week and a half cut. So it's really thick grass. So watch the discharge, watch how much, it's taken on, and then we're going to swap to the X blade and see how it mulches it up, see all the differences, and really see, is X blade worth it or not? Because if it will let you be able to take on that much grass and chop it up that much finer and give you a better cut without having to double cut, theoretically it would cut your mowing time in half on some of the spring places, especially if you're doing bi-weekly cuts, which is almost what this is. So let's see how the cut goes.
right, so you can see here, I've made all these passes just to get a really, really good cut and to see what was left on top. Along with, as I go into this, it gets a tad thicker of grass. So when we swap these X blades, theoretically, it should look even better than this does. And I want to show you some of the spots, like, you know, you might can't see them in here or not, but if you look here, see this grass that's laying on top? And remember, I'm taking on, you can see the grass here, so I'm taking on this much of a difference in cut. I mean, the top of those blades are 4 inches or so past. And like I said, it gets thicker as you go. I've got a high lift blade on from Ballard right now, but you can see, you know, he's grabbing grass off top of here. You know, like right here's a couple of blades, especially up here in this real fine thick. You can see it here when I started to slow down. You see all this? So you can easily grab this off top. That's easy to grab right there in that area. And that is a really, really fine fescue that is, I mean, you can see how thick that grass is. So he was able to grab that real quick off top. But you can see all the way up through here, I made all these passes through this. And some of it, like I said, has grass laying on top, like right there. But, you know, normally you would cut this. Like I said, I'm normally cutting this at 3 notches higher. So that would probably be a 1/2 inch higher. I've dropped it down 3 notches on my deck. And you can, like I said, you can see how much of a difference it is. So now we're going to go and swap these out to the X blade. And then we're going to see how it cuts doing that with the X blade. All right, so my deck's dropped down. Like I said, I've got it set on 4 1/4 for the setting. We're going to leave the blade right here, take them off, and try to get those blades at 4 1/4. So you can see there, it's a hair under 4 1/4 right there at that point. So you got to look at this, the left side. So you're looking at the left side of the tape measure. So we're going to swap these out for the X blade, and I'll probably have to remove the blade, like the thing to keep your blade from hitting stuff, off of this to use the X blade, but we'll see. All right, so I see people online all the time, and another reason I want to make this video, and I've got a short on this if you haven't seen it, but I see people buying things to lift the front of their mower up. There's so many things to take mower blades off. To me, this is the best way to do it because you can literally do it anywhere. You don't have to have anything but this. And so if you're out in the field and you've got to change blades or something, I mean, I don't see anybody packing one of them things at Ballard or any of the other sales. It's not me knocking them. It's just, it seems dumb when you can just use something like this. And they make several different ones of this style. But I'll show you how easy it is to get blades off with this. Make sure I got it on high. I can't hardly see out here. All right. I have to lift my deck up. Hold on. All right. See how I can get up under there? That. Last time it took them off. Make sure I got it on high. Shows my battery's got 2. I would think it would still take it off. There it goes. My goodness. I guess I put them on tighter than what I thought. But anyway, like I said, you can get one of these. Just make sure your battery's fully charged. But like I was showing you, this is the high lift from Ballard. And I want to show you all 3 of these blades so you can see them. And if you guys want to see a difference in cut on these 3, I'll gladly do a video on that. So here is the high lift. You can see, come around here to the front so they can see. You can see the wing on here See how high that is? And then it's notched. So what this does is it gives you extremely high lift. So it's gonna pull that grass up really, really well. This has a little bit littler notch, so it's not gonna bog your motor as much and requires much horsepower to run it, because the more this is lifted, the more horsepower it takes to spin it, because it's pushing more air. And this is a mulching blade. So theoretically, this is supposed to spin and cut and recut the clippings. But this will have the least amount of lift out of every one of these blades. So this is really just for bagging leaves or things of that nature. And what I find weird is the regular razor blade has the longest cutting lip out of all of them. I would think that the high lift would have the same as the razor, but you can see the difference in those. But you guys let me know in the comments if you would like to see a cut quality test between these three, just in regular grass, just so you know the differences. But I'm going to show you, so this razor, this mulching setup that is the X blade, so you've got this clip that goes between them, and then you put the two blades and that holds them together so they can't spin on each other. One of the other reasons I wanted to get this is because Dixie Chopper's coming out, and they have a twist blade set up that has the blades to where they're almost like, it's narrower than this. They're more like this. But anyway, let's put these on and see how they look, and then we'll start videoing again once I get them on. All right, so I've got these back on, and this is still at 4 1/4, so let's see how much it changed. On this hyperdrive, I basically removed the plate that keeps it from stumping, which a lot of mowers don't even have these. But I've left mine on the entire time. But anyway, I removed that and then just used the bolt and the original factory washer and put them back on. It was about an 1/8 difference in length. So I would recommend, if you're gonna keep these on, and if I like them, I might get a longer bolt. But let's see what it dropped it down to. So now my blade's at 4, or maybe a 32nd below. So I'll actually have to raise it a 1/4 inch above to be cutting the same thing. So I'll put it on 4 1/2, I'm pretty sure, and it'll work out perfect to where we was at previously. So right there's 4 1/2. You okay, Willow? You're getting in a pretty pickle spot right there. Okay, so let's see where we're at. So we're almost spot on with the other one. It's a little bit above 4 now. I think if we raise it one more, we would be past where the other one was at. With this, you got, 6 blades. So even if it's an 1/8 below where it was at before, it should theoretically do way better than just one set of blades. So let's take it back here and cut and see the real test. All right, so this is the moment of truth. Let's see how these X blades do and if they're really worth the hype that the internet's put out there.
I can tell you my initial thought is the motor seems like it can't get up to the proper RPM that it had before. So, you know, looking at these two cuts, honestly, I don't really see. I mean, the high lift might even be better. So, and like I said, you can hear that motor. It seems like it's so much quieter because it can't keep its RPM like it did. And you can see, you know, with these passes here, I mean, it's on the third row there, you can see a whole lot. What do you think?
I thought it looked nice when you were going through. I thought it was cutting well.
I mean, when you're looking at these and the difference of them, I don't really see. Honestly, the high lift might be better. Like if you look at these right here, it doesn't seem like that there's that much less debris on it. I mean, like if you look over here, look at this right here where it spit this big chunk out right here, and this whole row has a whole bunch on it. I personally don't think that it did any better. And the thing about it is, what you need to understand about a mower and the factory setting, if your mower tip speed, let's just say for easy numbers, it's supposed to be at 18,000 feet per minute. So if you drop that down to 17.5, you shorten your discharge, you are not chopping the grass as quick as you normally would, and you're going to be way more likely to get clumps. Now, like I said, theoretically, 6 blades is supposed to do better than 1, but looking at these cuts here, honestly, I mean, I don't think so. I mean, look at this. Bring it over here, hon, and let them see right through here. You see all this grass? Like 1, 2, 3, and 3 and 4 is got a whole bunch of grass on it. See down through there?
I do.
But then if you look over here at the high lift, which discharges it up and out, there's not hardly anything on there in comparison to where the X blade went through. I think it's a bust, guys. I mean, I really do. I think especially for the cost, because if you guys are buying 6 blades, your cost, I mean, that there, I bought it with my own money, that there, because I've had so many people reach out and say, try these X blades, try these X blades. And I don't know, maybe the hyperdrive is just really good at chopping and discharging, but you know, this is really thick grass. So if you guys are cutting maybe normal grass, but at that time I couldn't see why you would even need it then. I just don't see it. I mean, even like right here, look how long that blade is. I mean, and there's a mulching blade on top. You got a regular blade and a mulching blade. But I don't know that you would even get the same amount of lift out of those. And then also you're lowering your RPM, so you're not going to have the same cutting revolutions as you would. The faster the blade spins, the more it hits that grass. And every second it goes across those 3 blades, that's less and less and less. But I think they're trying to theoretically make it up with the 6 blades, but then you're got more stress load on your mower and everything. And I know just by listening to that mower that it did not reach the same RPM as it was reaching with the regular high lift. So like I said, in my opinion, I think it's a bust. Just because, like I said, looking at these here, especially this row right here, there's so many of these like this. I mean, look how long that is. And that's with the X blade. So let's walk over here to the high lift. So from here over is high lift from right here. So you can come out here and you can see, let's see the longest blade I can find. So there's a couple of long ones, but even that one got hit. See it there? See those? But I mean, You look at it and look real close, because if you're standing right here between them and you look left and you look right, that looks better to me. This over here on the right looks better to me. You stand here and you look at them and pan back and forth. Hopefully they can tell by the sun, but does that not look like it has more buildup on it in comparison to this? And like I said, I'm making these take on a whole lot of grass. And the X blade, the bottom of the tip of the blade might be an eighth, like that much lower. But even with that, you shouldn't see that much of a difference. When you're looking at these, when you look at these two, which one do you think? Look at them back and forth. Does that not look like it's...
Has a lot more on top of it.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. And it, like I said, I just made 4 or 5 passes through here. And it's not that it's leaving anything, it's cutting it all down, but like right in here, where it's discharging all of it, at the end of it, when you go across those rows, you're getting a whole lot of this. And if you're cutting weekly, guys, I see people buying these setups and they're using them on weekly cuts. You shouldn't have any problem. If you've got a mower and you're cutting weekly and it can't cut the clippings up, I would switch mower brands. That's just what I would do. I mean, if you buy a mower and it's above $12,000 and you can't cut, like let's say every week you cut your grass at 4.5, and you go 6-7 days apart, and you look back at your yard after you cut it and it's just glazed with grass, then I would switch brands. I mean, something's not right, because I cut this yard all the time and there's very few spots, if I go 6 or 7 days, that I'll have any buildup. And all I do is cut one way. You know, I cut one way, and like I said, I cut this super low and chop this grass down just so you guys could get a good reading on the blades. And you've seen it, you know, the blades are, I mean, within a 32nd or maybe an eighth at the most difference from the tip to the tip. And I'm telling you right now that the X blade didn't cut as good. And like I said, I think it's the discharge and the blade speed. So to me, I think the X blade's a gimmick, and I don't think it's worth doing. I've seen a lot of people swear by it and say it's glorious and all this stuff, but I've never seen none of them cut real thick, good, lush grass and prove anything about it. And I think it would be even worse if you took it out and you stuck it in like really thick, like hay grass, and it was 3 or 4 foot tall, because I think it would choke your motor down so much quicker. And the main thing is, the bigger you get in grass, the more blade, your engine has to keep that RPM to keep that blade tip speed. So as soon as you lose that, you lose cut quality. Hope this helps you guys, and I'm $150 out.